In today's video, we are finally tackling the water pump leak we have on the GG Evo 8. I'm also going to be covering everything, every single step you have to do to replace your timing belt and water pump. So just sit back, relax, and enjoy. First things first, there are going to be some special tools you need to complete this job. You're going to need a 1/2 inch torque wrench, a 1/4 inch or 3/8, but a very compact torque wrench. And then this special toolkit is a must. This is to hold your cam gears, your tensioner pulley, which I'm going to explain later on the video, and this is for the tensioner, the hydraulic tensioner. All of this is going to be covered, but I'm going to put all of these special tools in the description below so you guys can get them, because without these tools this job is going to be super annoying. Also, make sure you have your coolant ready, because you're going to have to drain, of course, all your coolant. And then if you're swapping out your water pump and your timing belt, then water pump, timing belt. I'll make sure I put everything in the link down below so you guys can get everything through there. If you guys do purchase with that links, it does help the channel out. It does help me out. I do get a small commission from that. But anyways, let's get to the video and let's go through all of the steps. We are halfway there, and I think we have bad news. I don't know if you guys saw the blue trays that we have going on around the water pump and all the timing covers, but that leak doesn't look like it's coming from the gasket. It looks like the water pump itself is cracked, which is very, very odd because That is an OEM water pump that I installed when I first got the car, and I got the car, what, 3 years ago? So it's a almost new water pump, and it's an OEM Mitsubishi water pump, which usually it doesn't happen to them because they're actually OEM and pretty good. So let's go ahead and continue removing everything else that we have to remove. The next step to go to is making sure that the engine is in top dead center, and we have all our timing marks right here, and then in the toot of each gear, we're gonna have timing marks as well. Let's go ahead and continue moving forward. I want to go over all the timing marks because this step is very important, and make sure that you guys use this little tool to hold the gears. It makes life so much easier instead of using zip ties and all the other stuff. This is one of your timing marks right here. Not sure if you guys can see this little line, that little notch with this line here in the valve cover. This line right here with this little line right here in the valve cover. And then if we go down below, you guys are going to see a couple of marks. We have this mark right here that, let me see if I can get the flashlight so you guys can see the little arrow there. Let me go ahead and do this real quick with my camera. There we go. You guys can see that arrow here with this mark right here. There's another mark right up here. This little arrow goes with this right here. And then there's one behind this one right here that you guys can't quite see. But just make sure that all of your timing marks are correct. This step is very important. Now that we have our engine in top dead center and we confirmed all the timing marks, it is time to remove the timing belt, but I just wanted to cover that real quick for you guys. Alrighty, so we have removed our belt tensioner and our hydro tensioner with the arm. And now for the next couple of steps, those are things that I am not going to do on camera, because the main reason I'm doing this is just because of my leaking water pump. As you guys can see, I don't have to touch none of this because I switched all of this when I first bought the car 3 years ago, and I probably haven't even driven the car for maybe, I would say 10,000 miles. So all of this is brand new OEM, all of my pulleys, all of my idler pulleys, everything is brand new. So I'm not even gonna go ahead and touch it. I am going to go ahead and clean it. But for you guys that are doing this full job, you guys do have to remove this 22 mil bolt right here. You guys will remove this. Make sure that you guys keep this in the orientation. Every single step is in the link below. And I'm also going to link a couple of videos that did help me set all of the steps that I put on the description below. So shout out to those videos. But after this, there's not much left to remove. Like I said, balancer belt right here, remove this tensioner right here. Make sure that you check the tension you have on your belt before you do remove it. Remove this crank sensor right here. That's pretty much it. Again, all of the steps will be in detail in the description for you guys to follow. Now all we have to do, which is something that you guys will have to do if you guys are doing this, is remove this water pump, which is 5 bolts, 3 on the bottom, as you can see, 1, 2, 3, and then 2 on the top. We do have to remove the alternator bracket, which one bolt does have, which is this one right here. So this bolt right here and this bolt right here. And then let's see what's causing this leak, because I think the water pump cracked. I don't even think it's the gasket in the back, which is very unfortunate because I don't even have a brand new water pump now. So let's go ahead and remove this pump. Good news is we got the water pump out. It was super simple, honestly, don't stress about it. I used to complain so much about the space that I had, but now I guess that I'm more familiar with the 4G63, I felt pretty comfortable, honestly, removing all of that. So super simple through there, but we do have bad news as expected, I guess. Let me explain. The whole point of this video was to just change the water pump gasket because this water pump is fairly new. Honestly, I don't even see it having more than 10K on it. It's 3 years old and it is a Mitsu water pump, which is the more expensive one. I think they're like retail $400 or something like that. And the reason I went with OEM Mitsubishi is because they last a lot longer and it's better quality. Or so they say, or I don't know if I just had bad luck with mine. But the leak itself wasn't because of the gasket, because I checked all the surfaces, and this is what's really good about having this Mitsubishi coolant. It leaves sort of this blue trace everywhere it leaks, so I could trace down where it was leaking. And when I look at the surface of the gasket, there's no leaks and there's no dry blue or anything like that. So I removed a lot of the blue already, but the leak kind of looked like it was coming from up here, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to show you guys this on camera, but there's a small crack. Do you guys see that line right there? That's a small crack, and that lets the fluid come out through there, and that little crack is leaking through all of this. Again, I'm not sure if that's the crack, but me following the blue trace, it was coming from up here going all the way down, so I'm assuming it's this little crack right here. It's allowing fluid to come out, which is odd for an OEM pump. Like, I've honestly talked to so many people that have built engines, and they all recommend an OEM pump. So I don't know what's going on there. It could even be coming from here, because look at this blue trace right here. The important part is that it is not coming from the gasket itself. So I'm not gonna risk running this water pump again, putting a brand new water pump gasket, which is what I thought I was going to do, and then have it leak through this small crack. Hopefully you guys can see that little crack right there. So I'm gonna have to order a new pump. I'm going to go ahead and order the Gates one, which is the cheaper one out of the two pumps. Again, I'm always about quality, always about buying the best part, but in this case, the Mitsu one failed me super early, to be honest. So I'm gonna go ahead and try the Gates one, which I hear good things about as well. So let me go ahead and order the Gates one. Honestly, I'm not gonna get back to this until I get the new water pump. But once I get the new water pump back, it's just a matter of putting everything back together. So kind of a bummer. I wish I could get this car running by tomorrow so I could shoot it, but it is what it is. Let's go ahead and order a new pump. It has now been 2 days since we last grabbed the camera. We are waiting on our water pump to come in, which should come in any second now. But while we wait for that, let's go ahead and cover this week's sponsor for this video, which is Costad, a subscriber from Australia, which he's making these shift patterns, basically OEM, for our OEM shift knobs, which is really cool. Look at the way mine's is. As you guys can see, there is barely an R. Let me see if I can get this in focus. There's barely an R, as you can see. It's just flat and the sticker. I'm gonna go ahead and clean this surface up, and I'm gonna go ahead and put the dome in, which is the way it came from the dealer. So very cool piece. Costad does sell these on eBay. I'm gonna go ahead and put the link down below so you guys could purchase these. If you guys have an OEM shift knob like I do with the MR, or if you still have the 5-speed shift knob OEM, this is pretty cool, and it's really close to OEM. Like I looked at the catalogs and everything, and this is very close, almost, if not OEM. So let me go ahead and install the 6-speed, because we still have a 6-speed tranny on the GG, and let's go ahead and see how it looks. We have received our new water pump, and yes, we are going to go ahead and try the Gates water pump. This is the part number. I got this for, believe it or not, 50 bucks on Amazon with Amazon Prime, so I got it in 1 day. So let's see if this is worth it. I'm gonna go ahead and compare with the OEM one. Let me go ahead and pull it up, even though I have all my bolts situated the way they were. Let's go ahead and compare one to another and see if there are any major differences. Again, this is OEM, it failed me. And surprisingly not, a lot of people on Instagram are telling me that OEM has failed them as well. So I know there's a second option that a lot of evil people go with. So let's go ahead and try it. We don't lose anything. What's the worst that could happen? Let's say it does crack. Then we have OEM that's cracking and this that's cracking. So then we will definitely have to find another solution. A lot of people are telling me that since I do track the car and I do step on it time to time, that could put a lot of stress and heat on this water pump. That's why it could have possibly cracked, but that's still not acceptable. There's a lot of people that have OEM water pumps and it has not given them a single issue. But let's go ahead and open this one so we could compare both and see if there are any major differences. So here are the two pumps together. Honestly, I don't see no difference in weight or anything like that. Obviously, probably the quality inside, maybe the bearings, if this does have, I'm pretty sure, bearings inside. No major difference. They both look the same. They both weigh more or less the same. So it's based honestly on quality. So let's go ahead and try the Gates one, see what happens. But now all we have to do is reverse process of everything we just did. We're gonna go ahead and clean this surface up right here where this old gasket material is. Clean it with brake parts cleaner, clean everything else. If you guys are doing your full timing belt job, make sure you guys clean everything under here as well as possible, and then reverse process everything we just did. I'll continue to put the steps, but first let me go ahead and clean this surface up. Real quick, and a very important step, if you guys are using this Gate water pump, please make sure to spend the extra $10 and get an OEM water pump gasket. This one, just by looking at it, is so skinny and a little piece of paper. You could tell it's just a paper gasket. I don't think this is going to hold anything at all. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the OEM gasket, even though we already had it, but this part is a must. If you're gonna run this water pump, make sure you get an OEM water pump gasket. That way you're making sure your water pump doesn't leak and you don't have to do this all over again. So quick walkthrough of me setting this timing belt and timing it correctly. This was honestly a little bit of a pain in the ass compared to the first time I did it, because first off, let me walk you guys through it. Make sure that you have all your timing marks. So as you can see, timing mark, and then up here the arrow right here. This is for the bottom of the engine, and then obviously we already had it on lock, but these right here, make sure that they're aligned with the valve cover with this little indent right here and indent right here. Once you do that, what was happening to me was, and I don't know if I got it on camera because I got a little bit frustrated, but you have to be patient and just keep on trying to put the timing belt correctly. This is more or less how it goes in. What was happening to me was that I was moving the tensioner right here to the right, giving the belt tension, and when I would give the belt tension, this sprocket right here and this right here will go up 1 tooth. So obviously then this was off time and this will stay here. So it will kind of mess everything up. So what I did was I put the sprocket 1 tooth down on here and here and here. And then once I timed it and I put tension with the tensioner, that's when this sprocket will move forward, this will move forward, and then it fell into timing. And as you can see, make sure that your thing can spin freely. You could take it out, put it in and everything. That means that your timing is done correctly. So now what we are going to do is we are going to remove our little adapter here that was holding the cams in place. We're going to remove our little tool here, and we're going to rotate the engine several revolutions. I will say 2 to 3 revolutions. Let it sit for a while, and then just make sure, put this pin again and make sure that it's still good. That means that your tension is correct. And obviously while I'm spinning the engine, I also need to make sure that there's no binding, that everything's good, to make sure that the engine is timed correctly. So I hope that kind of explained everything that you have to do. Once you install the auto tensioner, the pivot arm, and this tensioner pulley right here, you will grab the special tool, put it in there, and you will move it to the right, add tension to the belt, and then while you're holding the tension, you have to torque this to 36 foot-pounds, which was the part where I literally couldn't even record, because this is probably like a 2-man job. If you had another person with you, that person could hold the tension with one arm from the top, and then you from the bottom with the torque wrench, you torque it down to 36 foot-pounds, and it will be way easier. So my apologies for not recording it, but I was going through it, and you know how cars are. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. But at least we have everything good so far. Let's go ahead and turn over the car at least a couple of times to make sure that the timing is good. And we could probably go ahead and install everything that we have removed. And then this is the easy part, honestly. It's just reverse process of everything that we've done so far. We have successfully put everything back together. Timing components, timing cover, as you guys just saw. All the pulleys, every tensioner, everything is on. I checked over everything and I put coolant, as you guys saw. Check over and make sure that there's no leaks before you turn this on. I've been letting it sit for like 5 minutes. I don't see any leaks coming specifically from the new water pump. Checking all the hoses and everything. So just make sure you guys check over everything at least 3 times. And now the most nerve-wracking part has come, which is turning on the car. Let's hope that everything is good. I checked over everything, so we should be totally fine. So let's go ahead and turn on the car. So nervous for this, I don't know why. It wanted to start right away, which is a good sign. It wanted to start right away, which is a good sign. It wanted to start right away, which is a good sign. It wanted to start right away, which is a good sign. It wanted to start right away, which is a good sign. It wanted to start right away, which is a good sign. It wanted to start right away, which is a good sign. It wanted to start right away, which is a good sign. It wanted to start right away, which is a good sign. It wanted to start right away, which is a good sign. It wanted to start right away, which is a good sign. It wanted to start right away, which is a good sign. It wanted to start right away, which is a good sign. It wanted to start right away, which is a good sign. It wanted to start right away, which is a good sign. It wanted to start right away, which is a good sign. It wanted to start right away, which is a good sign. It wanted to start right away, which is a good sign. It wanted to start right away, which is a good sign. It wanted to start right away, which is a good sign. It wanted to start right away, whi alive. Let's go. Let me disconnect this. She's alive. Let's go. Now all we have to do is obviously make sure that there's no leaks, that we are set to go. I'm gonna let this coolant bleed, but so far so good. I'll see you guys in a little bit. And just like that, we are completely done with the GG Evo 8. Thank God everything went smooth. I checked for leaks, I checked for everything, and honestly, everything's good so far. Bled the car for like 45 minutes, left it on just at idle while I cleaned up the garage a bit. Again, every single step for your timing belt and water pump removal is going to be down in the description below. You guys could literally go to that and go one by one, step by step, and just follow that, and you should be good to go. There's a couple of things that I didn't do again because I didn't remove my balancer or my idler pulley or my power steering pump. I didn't do a couple of things because again, this wasn't a full timing belt job. It was just for me to remove the water pump. But I wanted to give you guys the value of how to do everything. There was a couple of videos that I found on YouTube that are amazing, that they're super great. I'm gonna link them down below. Boosted Film, Cameo. There's like 3 or 4 that I found on YouTube that are really, really good. I'll link them down below and give them credit where it's due, because honestly, when I was writing this out, I used their video and my video to combine my knowledge and their knowledge on their videos and just give you guys a full write-up on the description, just to help you guys out. Honestly, if you guys could do this yourself, I know that you guys could save a couple of bucks, and that to me will mean the world if I could help somebody out there and just give them a hand with a water pump and timing belt procedure. Now that we have finished the timing belt, let me show you guys a new family member that we have to the house. Say hello, guys, to little Luke. He's so cute and adorable. He's gotten a little bit big. I've had him for a week already, but oh God, super, super cute little fella. Look at this cute little fellow right here. Anyways, so yeah, Luke, new family member. You guys will probably see him on the channel several times. We're gonna end the video there. Finally, we have the GG Evo up and running, which I want to get back to driving the car. I want to put it on an actual road course, things that we have set for the future. Also, I have a huge video that I need to make, huge shoot that I need to do for Nito. So there's gonna be a couple of good content videos. The GG is gonna be officially back on the channel. I know that there's been a lot of red JDM Evo 8 content, and that's not gonna stop also. We're just getting started with that one. But if you guys have any questions in regards to the timing belt, any question in regards to anything that I put on this video today, or any question whatsoever, don't hesitate to leave it down in the comments below. I'll try to reply to every single one like always, but I'm gonna leave it there. So like always, keep grinding. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.